Now, if you're like me and you prefer Amazon Music HD over the other solutions, which can be awesome solutions, this video isn't about which one is best. For me, it comes down to quality, number one, and the quality of Amazon Music HD, especially on the Ultra HD tracks, is top quality. But second is the catalog. They simply have more of what I like to listen to. So, for those of you in my shoes, you're probably stuck with the same question: how the heck do I play it in top quality on my receiver? Today I'm going to show you how. What you see right here probably tipped you off. This is the Amazon Fire TV 4K. This solution also works on the regular Fire Stick, also works on the second gen Fire Cube, but I don't recommend those two devices. Yes, I've tried them, because the 4K version of the Fire Stick is a noticeably snappier device. It's still not on par with a Shield Pro or an AppleTV4k, which I also have plugged in here, and I'll show you at the end of this video some differences between those three at least. And I'll talk about Roku also, because I have those as well set up all at my parents' house. So I have a lot of first-hand experience, and maybe you can make a decision on which streamer stick is right for you. But I use three in this setup because all three do something the others don't. Fire Stick TV 4K, I only use for streaming music. So this is only possible right now because just a few weeks ago, we got some updates, both to the operating system and the Amazon Music app, both of which were needed to finally be able to output full quality HD, Ultra HD quality from the Music app out to whatever you have it plugged into. Now, many of you are going to have Denon or Marantz AVRs, and you, if you have a later model, already have the HEOS operating system or app built into it, and you've been able to do this built in from the start. The difference is the interface for HEOS isn't nearly as robust as the actual app, either on your phone, tablet, or here on the Fire Stick. So this is still a better option, same quality, but much better usability. And I'll show you that in a minute. Now, I use Yamaha, and my receiver has this music cast instead of HEOS, and it is unusable. It does stream it, full quality, direct over the network and all that, but it is unusable. And I don't mean it's bad, I mean it crashes. You try to load a large playlist, it stops. There is no way to scrub backwards or forwards through a song. You can't search for anything. It is horrendous. It shouldn't even exist. It's that bad. So I've been resorting for a long time to simply AirPlaying, using AirPlay 2 from my phone or tablet to the receiver, which is fine as far as usability. However, it's limited to CD quality. So you can't take advantage of anything over the CD quality, even if the track supports it. And that's true of any Wi-Fi connection between devices. It has to be direct from the network to even be able to support Ultra HD quality. And now we finally have it. It wasn't until just the last versions that they turned that on to be able to pass it through. Now the other catch is, whatever you're passing it through to has to have a great DAC. Because without that, if you're just using a basic $300 AVR, there's no point. You're not going to hear the difference between CD quality and Ultra HD quality. You have to have a great DAC. My AVR happens to use a great one. It's a Sabre ESS DAC. Same one that's in my Dragonfly. It sounds fantastic. So you have to have that. If you're just using some basic Burr Brown, it's questionable whether you are ever going to hear the difference. Doesn't matter how good your speakers and everything else are. The DAC has to be very good. So bear that in mind. But a lot of us are in that boat. We've got a receiver or a processor with a great DAC, and we want to use Amazon HD in Ultra HD. So just plug in your Fire Stick 4K. You have to update everything, and this is one of the differences between the Fire Stick family and everything else. The update process sucks so bad. Amazon is so far behind everybody else on the update process. Number one, when you get it, most of the time, when you get a new device from the store, right, it's going to be behind whatever the latest update is, because everything usually gets an update pretty frequently and pretty regularly. And usually that update will This is true of AppleTV4k, the Shield Pro, and I even believe the Roku. I don't think I had to go through more than one with the Roku. When you plug it in, you usually go through a sign-in or a setup process, and it usually automatically checks for an update right then, before you even get to a sign-in screen. And that was true of the Fire Stick. Actually went through 2 of them before I ever got to a sign-in screen. So 2 updates just to be able to sign in. Then there was another one, but it didn't automatically tell me until, I don't know, about an hour later. And then there was a pop-up here on the home screen. Do you want to update? Well, yeah. And then it still had another one that I had to go manually check for in the settings. So just horrendous. All the other boxes will update in one jump to whatever the latest is from wherever you are. It's not sequential. And that's, again, usually during the sign-up process, before you even get to a home page. It's fully updated. Not the case with this. So make sure that you manually go into settings. And after you do that, do it again, because it's only going to go one step at a time. So if you go into manual settings, check for an update, it'll jump you to the next one, but there might be another one waiting. You got to keep doing that until it says no updates found. Same thing with the app itself. Exact same thing. I downloaded directly from the Amazon store, the Amazon Music app. It wasn't the latest version. For whatever stupid reason, Amazon puts old versions of their apps on their app store and then makes you update as soon as you finish downloading it. And it's not automatic. And it's not in a convenient place to find. So you have to manually check for the app and the OS updates until they say no updates found. When you're on current versions, then you can start playing. Now, the main interface here is very different than the one on the phones or tablets as far as how you get your music. None of this crap matters to me on the home screen. Unfortunately, you can't customize or change any of this, and it's all completely useless to me. I don't care about modern pop. I don't care about what artists are recommending. I like what I like, and I primarily play my own playlists. You have to go to the right and go to My Music, and again, filled with crap. I don't want to see the artists that I've been playing or have put into playlists. I know what they are. I want to play my music. I don't want this first up. What I want is my playlist. I want to be able to put that at the very top or on the home screen, but you can't. So just know that. But once you get into it, it's great. This is almost the same as the phone or tablet. You've got all your playlists, and then once you get into it, you see all your songs. Now, the only nitpick I have is it does not correctly show what format or what resolution each track is in on this playlist screen. Some will randomly say HD, most say nothing, none of them say UHD. It doesn't make any sense to me. But once you go into the actual song, and I'm going to pause that so I don't get a copyright ding, it will tell you what the quality is. And this is optional. You can turn that info on or off just by going over to these 3 dots, more options, audio quality, and you can turn that on or off. For the purposes of this, it's going to stay on. So here we can see what the track is available in, and that's the maximum you're ever going to get. So it's CD quality. The device capability, that is the actual Fire Stick TV and whatever it's plugged into, because it is reading the capabilities of whatever the other side is. And they both have to be capable. In my case, my Yamaha is, and I've updated the app and the OS, so I have full quality available. Currently playing at this, I don't know, it's either buggy or it's not always accurate. Usually that will say whatever the track quality is. Standard means MP3. And very randomly, it will just say standard on a track that says it's available in CD quality. Here we have a track that is in a form of ultra high quality, UHD, or Ultra HD as they call it. Note, anything above CD quality, they call UHD, and it can be any combination of the bitrate or the resolution. There is no one standard for UHD. It's just anything more in any combination than CD quality. 16-bit, 44 kilohertz. And here we can see it's playing at its best possible quality. Now, unfortunately, you can't go through your list and easily find tracks that are in UHD if you want to test, so you literally have to play them. The good part is this interface is great. It all works exactly as you would expect. Note, if you're using a Harmony app or a Harmony remote, you do need to remap the forward and rewind buttons. By default, when you add the device, it will make them skip instead of fast forward or reverse. So with them mapped correctly, and while you're playing, you can hold it down to scrub. But by default, it will actually skip to the next track. So that's just a quick, easy fix. That's not uncommon for adding devices in Harmony. So you've got all the normal controls that you have on the phone. There are also, what will show up here sometimes is a music video. If the music video is available, I think I remember a couple that had it, just randomly looking. Maybe, maybe not. I thought that was one of them. Anyway, there'll be a toggle here for audio or video. And if you want to see the music video, well, while the track is playing, just turn that on and it plays the video. If the song has lyrics, it will display lyrics scrolling, which is fantastic. The phone and tablet app does that a little bit, but it pauses after a little while. My Echo Show also does that. It's really cool. So you get a lot of information on here, and this is way more than you get using AirPlay 2, which just shows you the scrub line, forward, back, title, and cover art. That's all you get that way. This is fully interactive. I absolutely love it. And you can see up here, it also will display Ultra HD if it's available as the track in any combination. Doesn't mean you can play it. That's what this means here. But the track availability will show up there as well. That's what I wish was on the playlist list. And it also shows up on the phone or tablet app in the playlist. So that's one thing they're missing out of here. But other than that, it is absolutely flawless. And of course, the quality, top notch. Now, the difference between CD quality and the very best Ultra HD quality greatly depends on a multitude of factors. Number one, the track itself. How was it mastered? Is it just some kind of upsampling? Was it actually recorded in enough fidelity to make a difference? I can barely, if any, I mean, I'm telling you, the placebo effect is really strong, and I definitely would not be able to pass a blind A/B test on most of these tracks, playing the CD quality or not. And by the way, it's very easy to switch between them. You can even do it while you're playing a track. I'm not going to do it, but you play the track, it's playing in the background, go back to the home page, and then go up to the corner for your count settings, go to audio quality, and all you have to do is toggle this back and forth while you're playing, and it'll go between CD quality and Ultra HD. So boom, there you go. Or you can just pull up on your phone or tablet the same track and AirPlay it, which is CD quality, and A/B test to this playing in Ultra HD. So it's super easy. And by the way, yes, this is something you have to toggle when you set it up after you update it. This will show up with the latest update, and it's off by default. So you can toggle it here back and forth while you're playing a song, and very easily. It's not instant. It does obviously take a little bit of time, but it's better than nothing. AirPlay 2 might be easier for you to switch back and forth. Unfortunately, you can't go right back to the app. So how do we get back to the app? That's going to go back to the home screen. There we go. Okay, now we want to go back into the song. When a song is playing, it'll go in the upper left-hand corner. That's what I was looking for. And you go back into the song. Just imagine it's still playing. So here's an easy track. Oh, darn it. Here's an easy track. I want to go back to the playlist. I don't think I can. I got to go all the way back here. Yeah, because unfortunately, this is an interface niggle. It'll take you back to what's playing in there, but it won't take you back to where you were in the app. Here's another quirk, and this is also true on the phone and tablet apps. Kind of like Netflix, their licensing for their catalog, and this goes for all of the services, is in flux. Now, for whatever reason, anything you see grayed out is not licensed to be played on this particular device at this time. It is available right now on my phone or tablet, but not on the Fire Stick TV. And the opposite is also true. Sometimes you'll see some grayed out on your phone or tablet for a time. Don't know why. Don't know what the rhyme or reason is. There's no list of what's coming or going, but that's just the way they all are. That's streaming licensing. Little Room by Norah Jones. I paused this right before it was playing. There we go. So this is as good as the quality gets. 24-bit, 192 kilohertz. There's nothing better out there from any service. This is one where you can definitively tell this is CD quality and this is UHD. Now, what I find easier is to play the best quality first. Play it a couple times, all right? At least the first half of the song. Play the first half of the song a couple times. And what you want to listen to specifically is her sibilance and the natural reverb in the room, the reverb in the recording. Now, if you don't have a really well-controlled room that you're listening in, you're probably not going to pick this kind of stuff up. The other thing to notice is the very high-end roll-off of everything in the track. Also, the sweet spot. This is a track that I use for setting up speakers because it's recorded in such a fashion that it has a very defined sweet spot. You can set it up with the correct speaker placement so that her head is precisely the size of a human head. It sounds like there's literally somebody 10 feet in front of you talking. If you close your eyes, there is a human being talking directly in front of you. It's very easy to set up imaging with this particular song. And then once you go back and play the CD quality, same thing, just play the first half of the song a couple times. Once you experience the difference, you're going to know what to listen for. One thing that's very apparent is there is more of a 3D depth to the UHD quality. If you've only heard the CD quality version, it's going to sound great. And this has always sounded great to me. But once you hear that one extra step, you can hear what's missing in the CD quality. And it just sounds a little less lifelike. The sibilance, especially in her voice and everything playing, you notice it's a little harsh compared to the UHD in the CD quality. It's not bad. It sounds great. But you notice, again, it just sounds a little less real compared to the UHD quality. Is it a night and day difference? No. Should you be running out and spending a ton of money to get it if you've got CD quality now? No. Do you want to hear the difference? Do you care that much about it? Yes. Then go ahead and do it because it is there for the asking. So that will just demonstrate some of the differences between the two, and there are going to be others in other tracks, but again, it really depends on the track itself, your speakers, your placement of the speakers especially, and your room treatment, and the DAC that it's plugged into, yada, 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 yada. If you've got it, your ducks lined up in a row, you're going to be able to tell the difference. That's all there is to it. All right, so there you go. I recommend the Fire Stick 4K. I'll put a link down below. Sometimes they go on sale, but at the most, you're spending 50 bucks. They are available at most big box stores or online any day of the week. Not a big deal. So let's talk a little bit about the differences between, I'll show you the differences between the Fire Stick 4K, the AppleTV4k, and the Shield Pro, and then I'll tell you about some of the Roku devices. First of all, Fire Stick. Well, we're on this. Let's go back to the home screen. This is probably the sloppiest of your choices, all right? It is basically a giant Amazon advertisement. This is your home screen. You cannot customize it. You can't customize it officially. You can jailbreak these, you can hack them, you can put on custom ROMs, and there are a bunch of things you can do that way. But if you're just talking about, dude, I'm not that techie, I just want to plug it in and use it, this is what you get, all right? So Recent just shows a bunch of random advertisement crap. I have never played anything except the Amazon Music app on this. This is all I use it for. I've never played a single other app, nothing, no videos, no internet, no nothing. But it advertises all this Amazon crap. You can't get rid of it, all right? So recent is just recent. You can't move it, you can't customize it. Your apps and channels. This you can slightly customize. This is as simple as you can get it. This is everything deleted that's able to be deleted. This is all crap that isn't installed. Well, these are installed. Okay, these just show a regular icon. These are all pre-installed. You can't delete them. And there's only a couple gigabytes of free space on the device. There's no expandability. It is what it is. And these are all pre-installed. Can't even take them off this menu. There are more that show on this list, and they show this little cloud app. And what they want you to do is download and install them. You can remove these from the list, and it'll at least knock them off. But all of these are still installed and still on your apps and channels, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sponsored is simply an ad. You can't turn it off, can't do anything about it. And the list goes on and on and on. This is all crap that Amazon is pushing on you. There's nothing you can do about it. It goes on and on and on and on. So if you're just in it for the audio, this is what you're going to be looking at. That's all there is to it. Up at the top, you've got this menu here, and you can see how snappy or lack of snappy it is. It's not bad. If this is all you've ever used, you're going to think it's great. But if you've used an AppleTV4k or Shield Pro, you're going to know it's not. It's average at best. So into the settings. Oh, look, I have a notification. I wonder what it says. That I played a song. Great, I don't need a notification for that. In your settings, there are only a couple important things. Now, previous versions of this, there were more things you had to do. Note that that has changed. It is simpler now. So in display and sounds, under display, you do want to turn on, this is of course if you care about playing any videos. All right, this is just the basic stuff that you want to do to play any videos in good quality. Turn on match original frame rate. That means if you're playing a movie, say at 24 FPS, it's not going to try to upscale it to 60 FPS. Just turn match on and it'll play as the original is meant to be played. I don't know why they don't have it on as default, but nobody does. They all turn that off. Color depth, if you have a 4K HDR TV, you want 10-bit YCBCR for your color format. That's just standard HDR talking to your receiver and through to your TV. And dynamic range settings, you want it on adaptive. That will mean when you're playing a standard definition like the interface, it will be in standard. If you watch a standard TV or movie, it'll stay in standard definition or standard, yeah. But if you play a high definition movie, it'll switch. So turn that on adaptive. That's all you have to do in display. Now in audio, basically you have to do, I believe, nothing now. In the old versions of this, you had to manually set this to stereo in order to get full quality, but you no longer have to do that. Now it will automatically pass through truly the best quality. Even if you're playing stereo, it'll pass the UHD. So just leave it on the default, best available. That's it. So really just changing a couple display settings is all you have to do on the Fire Stick. And that's pretty easy. It doesn't, as far as all the streamer boxes, it doesn't get any simpler than that. Roku is exactly the same amount of steps. Shield and Apple TV are a little bit more complicated. Everything else you may want to change, you may not. Equipment control is CEC, and I always turn that completely off on all my devices because I use Harmony, and Harmony has to control everything direct. And CEC will mess everything up if you start using that on any of your devices. So if you're just using direct device controls, you probably want it on, but if you're Harmony, turn it all off. And rest of the stuff is really nothing critical. It's literally your preferences. Yeah, nothing I had to do in here. Okay, so that's pretty much all you get. All right, let's switch over to Shield, which I only use for Plex. I've got a Netflix app installed on here just to show you a little bit of menu, but I only use it for streaming Plex. Why? Because the Shield TV, or not Shield TV, the Shield Pro and the Shield Tube now are the only devices that will pass through full quality Atmos and DTSX soundtracks, period. I run a NAS, a Synology NAS, running the Plex server, and I rip all my discs. Everything's on there as full disc rips with full quality audio, and I run everything through Plex. That's how I use this home theater. I pretty much only watch movies. Very rarely will I stream anything. So literally, the only thing I use on the Shield is Plex, just to play my movies. And again, just because this is the only solution that will pass through full quality Atmos, True HD, and DTSX files. And before some smart aleck comes on and says, the Apple TV can do it with Infused. No, it can't. It downsamples to Dolby Digital Plus with Atmos, which is streaming quality. Crap. Not the same thing. I also have that. So on the Shield, it is fairly customizable. There are some things you can't get rid of, like you can't get rid of that search suggestion crap, but you can make it as simple as you want. So if you're looking for a really easy customizable interface, Shield is the way to go. Cooper, get out of here. So as you install things on this top row, it's just called apps, and that's anything you have installed. You can see they kind of stack. And if you add more, they just stack like that, and whatever you're selecting comes to the front. That's the basis behind everything. You can also add rows of the same thing. So you can add a row just for Netflix, for example, and see all the Netflix shows you're watching. You don't have to. I've deleted everything. I just have one row just of apps, and if you want to delete something, you can just remove it from your favorites and boom. This is how I use the Shield. Super simple. Doesn't get any better than that. No ads, nothing you don't want, or as complex as you want. I forgot I can also show you this. As a contrast, this is my TV. It has Android TV built in, and this is how virtually every other Android TV device out there looks. You get ads. You can't do anything about this. This is rolling through whatever it wants to show. You can still customize below that exactly the same way as you want. You can install whatever apps you want. You can install different rows, but you're stuck with this crap up at the top, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's true of virtually everything out there that runs Android except the Shield. All right, let's take a look at Apple TV 4K. Look at the differences there. Now, my wife is the one that uses the Apple TV. She only streams. She pretty much never watches anything on Plex. She's not into movies. She's into her reality TV shows and Grey's Anatomy and Vander Crap Rules or whatever that garbage is. She watches it all. And that's all on her Amazon and Hulu. And she watches a ton of girl tubers. That's her streaming life. That's what she uses this home theater for. And the Apple TV provides that in spades. This is the interface for the Apple TV. Whatever you select here, it just shows some interesting information, some useful information. On Netflix here, you can scroll up and directly launch that. This is whatever they want to promote. All these different apps show a different thing. If you scroll down, you can customize this however you like. You can add things to it. You can rearrange it. I've got these placed wherever I want them. You can slide them. But this is as simple as a streaming interface gets, and it works perfectly every single time. It's flawless. It's smooth. It's fast. You can see that there's just no delay in anything you do. Doesn't get any better than the Shield or Apple TV for the snappiness and the graphics and the response. And this is definitely the easiest to navigate. The remote sucks though. You absolutely have to use some other type of remote if you're giving to anybody that's non-techie. And I'll get into that when I talk about Roku. That's why my parents are on Roku. Otherwise, I mean, for easy use and compatibility and quality, you can't beat the Apple TV 4K. I know there's a lot of people out there, man, they don't like anything Apple. I'm not a fanboy. I'm not an anti-fanboy. Give me what works best. Best tool for the job. I don't give a crap what company it is. If you go into settings, there are a bunch of audio and video settings that you need to do, and they're not intuitive. I've got another video on that that shows you exactly what to do, but it's not intuitive because some stuff you wouldn't think you would want to set like you're supposed to. This is a Dolby Vision TV, and you do not want to enable Dolby Vision because that will force Dolby Vision all the time, including the UI, and that breaks it. It's terrible. But anyway, that is the only niggle, is the initial setup. The updates, like I said, Shield and Apple TV updates, flawless. All the apps, automatic, OS, automatic. It will ask you if it wants you to reboot to install one. It'll say it's ready. Of course, works with all Apple devices, and she does that all the time. She's a teacher. She slings and airplays and everything all the time. So it works really well for that. So talking about Roku, I set my parents up all their TVs and all their rooms with Roku devices, primarily for the remote controls. If you're trying to set up for somebody that is non-techie, and they are as non-techie as it gets, it took them forever just to get the hang of the D-pad and select button, all right? They're used to power, channel up and down, and volume up and down, and that's it, all right? It was a challenge just getting them used to the Roku remotes. But I've got them on the Slinger remotes, volume buttons on the side, power button up at the top, D-pad and remote, D-pad and select button. It works very well. It's not perfect though. Compared to this stuff, it's slow. It's even a little bit slower than the Fire Stick as far as moving things around, launching things. Like they use Spectrum for their cable company, and launching the Spectrum app can take a little bit of time. The initial boot can take a little bit of time if they turn it off. You know, it's not a fast processor, but you're talking 50 to 100 bucks. You're not getting a fast processor. You're not getting a lot of RAM. You're not getting any expandability. It's a basic streamer stick, just like the Amazon. So it is what it is. But the remotes are the best out there for non-techie people. Hands down. They run on AA batteries. There's no Bluetooth. There's no charging. I mean, it doesn't get any easier. But video and audio quality, not the best. That's all there is to it. If you want the best audio quality for streaming music, that's what this video is for. If you want the best possible movie streaming experience, Shield Pro, that's all there is to it. If you want the best UI, AppleTV4k. If you want it all, you get multiples. Hello, welcome to my world. You just have to. That's all there is to it. There is no one box that does everything the best. So I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, let me know. If I've got an easy answer, I'll be happy to answer. But everyone is going to have a different decision to make about what's best for them, because it's going to depend on your setup and what you want to do with it. That's it. We'll see you next time.